Today we're going to be checking out two Moog Sub Phattys because one is just not enough. You got to have two. We're going to be checking out some of the feature set on these, some of the filter settings, and checking out some of the presets as well. All in all, a great little classic synthesizer from Moog Music. Check it out, coming up now. Hi, I'm Roland. This is Alamo Music Center, downtown San Antonio, Texas. Be sure to check us out online at alamomusic.com. We've got a lot of cool keyboards there and a lot of cool guitars. Check out the website. Also, click on subscribe on the YouTube channel, Alamo Music Sound Lab. We've got a lot of killer videos coming up in the future. And today we'll be checking out some really awesome synthesizers, two Moog Sub Phattys. The Moog Sub Phatty. It's a great little keyboard, and what I like most about these keyboards is that the price point is pretty awesome. You could find them on the used market really cheap, and for me, dollar for dollar, they offer just as much power as some of the bigger Moog synthesizers at a smaller footprint with a much lower price tag. They're definitely awesome in the bass department. That's kind of like where I think they shine the most. But with some of the features that are on board, I think you can really carve out some really amazing sonic textures, weird analog-y type of sound effects. And of course, the lead department is no slouch at all. There's really unlimited amounts of sounds you can sculpt for lead synthesizers and bass and effects and so on and so on. There are some limitations with the keyboard though. Obviously, there's no LCD screen to show you where you're at or what preset you have loaded. All you have on the far left panel is a couple of click buttons for banks and presets. So it's pretty limited as far as storage is concerned. But again, for me, I think this keyboard was never really meant to be a keyboard filled with hundreds and hundreds of sounds. It's more meant to have instant manipulation real time, whether you're at the studio, at a gig. To me, this thing is all about just turning some knobs and having fun with it. But of course, you can save your own presets in a very minimal fashion. It is a 2-oscillator synthesizer, and you do have several different types of waves with each oscillator. You do have a hard sync, which is pretty amazing when you want to get into those lead lines. You do have a sub-oscillator on top of the 2 oscillators, which is pretty fantastic. Once you turn up the dial on the sub-oscillator, you get that really big growl. So to me, that's where the bass department really kicks in hard. The cool thing I think about this filter is that it's got your typical Moog filter, which definitely sounds wide and creamy and bold. But you do have this multi-drive right underneath the cutoff. And the multi-drive is exactly that. It's almost like an overdrive. So the more you turn it up, the more gnarly it gets, the more gritty it gets. I think that's the best feature of this synthesizer. This, in conjunction with the filter, just supreme gold. Really amazing sonic stuff right here. On top of that, you have your basic envelope sections. You do have your filter envelope and your amplitude envelope. All of these, pretty standard fare for a synthesizer. So yeah, all in all, it's very limited on the panel, but it's really unlimited when you get down into sculpting sounds. I've had these keyboards for a while now, as well as Moog Voyager XLs and some of the classic Moog synthesizers like a Source and so on. And I got to tell you, this thing is every bit as has all the potential of those keyboards. Just because it looks smaller in fashion doesn't mean it can't deliver a lot of those sonic textures that you've come to know from Moog music. It definitely does that and then some. So cool keyboards. You've got USB on the side panel. You've got MIDI in and out, your basic connectivity right there. It is a mono output. I love these in stereo. I must admit that I have a tendency to buy keyboards of this size in pairs. For example, I have 2 Korg MS-10s and 2 Korg MS-20s, and I love hooking them up and playing them both at the same time because it really becomes a massive 4-oscillator package. So as cheap as these are, you go on the used market from $600 to $800-ish. Buying a couple of them is a pretty easy endeavor, and I think once you have 2 back-to-back, playing them or sequencing with them, you really get to see that what was really a strong contender to begin with becomes a really massive soundscape. Very cool thing to have two at one time. Always love that. All right, well, enough talking about this. Let's check them out in action. I really hope you enjoy checking out these Moog Sub Phatties. They're really great keyboards. I really love the footprint and the price point that they're at. Check us out online, alamomusic.com, and click subscribe on our YouTube channel, Alamo Music Sound Lab. There's a lot of great videos coming up and more synthesizers, effects, samplers, and more. Check it out.